Hello, middle one. Let's talk about the first lesson, matter and its characteristics. Now, let's define what's mean by matter. Matter, it's anything that has mass and volume. We can differentiate between substance by some physical properties as color, taste, and odor. We can use color to differentiate between copper, silver, and gold, as copper is red, silver is silvery gray, and gold is yellow. And we can use taste property to differentiate between salt and sugar. Also, we can use smell to differentiate between vinegar and perfume. So there are some physical properties like color, taste, and smell. We can use them to differentiate by different matter. There are other characteristics that can be used to differentiate between different substances. These properties like density, melting and boiling point, hardness, electrical conductivity, thermal conductivity. Now we will talk about number one, density. Let's make an experiment to show that density can use to differentiate between some substance. As you see in this picture, we can bring a basin containing water and some different material like ice, wood, oil, cork, and iron nail, and put all of them in this basin containing water. We notice that some of them float on water surface and the other sink in water surface. We note that ice, wood, oil, and cork will float on water surface, but the iron nail only sink in water. So we can conclude that materials which have higher density than water sink in it, but material which have lower density than water float on its surface. So now density can use to differentiate between materials. Some materials have low density, so it will float on water surface, and other will have high density, it will sink in the water. So now what's mean by density? Density is a mass of 1 cubic centimeter of matter. So from this definition, we can conclude the rule or the law of density. Density equal mass divided volume. Mass in grams, volume in cubic centimeter, density in gram per cubic centimeter. So we can use this rule to calculate the density in different. What's mean by density of water is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. It means that the mass of 1 cubic centimeter of water equal 1 gram. Example number 1. Find or calculate the density of a piece of iron of mass 87 gram and of volume 10 cubic centimeter. If we have a problem like this, first apply the rule. Density of iron equal, or density of any substance equal mass divided volume. We have mass equal 87 and volume equal 10. So 87 divided 10 equal 8.7, and don't forget the unit, gram per. Example number 2. The density of alcohol is 0.8 gram per cubic centimeter. Find the mass of 125 cubic centimeter. So in this problem, he asked about the mass, and the givens are volume and density. First apply the rule. Mass equal density times volume. We have density 0.8 and volume 125. So mass equal 100 gram. He asked about the mass, so the unit is gram. Don't forget the unit. Give reason. Water is not used to put out petrol fire or oil fires. Because the density of petrol is less than that of water, so petrol float on water surface. Again, because the density of petrol or oil is less than that of water, so petrol float on water surface, and we cannot put off the fire. Give reason. Balloons full of hydrogen or helium rise up in air because the density of hydrogen or helium is less than the density of air. So it rises in the air because they have lower density than air, because hydrogen and helium have lower density than air, so they rise up. Give reason. Equal masses of different substances have different volume because they have different densities. If we have two substances have the same masses, they have different volume because they have different densities. Or if you have two substances have equal volume but different masses, different substances like iron and wood, but equal in volume, they have different masses also because they have different densities. Now we'll talk about the characteristic or property number 2, melting and boiling point. We know that matter has three states: solid, liquid, and gas. Solid, by heating, change into liquid, and this process is called melting. Liquid, by heating, change into gaseous state, and this process is called boiling. So what's meant by melting point? Melting point, it's a temperature at which the substance changes from the solid state to the liquid. Has a definite melting point. We can make an activity to prove that each substance has a definite melting point. In a water bath, put a beaker contains crushed ice as a thermometer. Put the water bath on the flame for some time. When ice starts to melt, remove the flame and record the thermometer. Then replace the crushed ice with wax and repeat the experiment. Observation. Temperature at which ice melts is different from that of wax. So the melting point of ice is different from the melting point of wax. So we conclude that each substance has its melting point. So we can use this point to differentiate between substances. Remember that some substances have low melting point like wax, butter, and ice, and other substances have high melting point like iron, copper, aluminum, and table. Another point, boiling point. Also, boiling point is the temperature at which substance changes from liquid state to gaseous state. Like melting point, boiling point has, each substance has a definite boiling point. We said that each substance has definite melting point. Also, each substance has a definite boiling point. Some substances have high boiling point and some substances have low boiling. We have some application of melting process. Number 1, manufacture of alloys. We have copper gold alloy, which used in making jewels for decoration. And nickel chrome alloy used in making heating coils like the electric iron. So we have two alloys, copper gold alloy and nickel chrome alloy. Copper gold alloy used in making jewels, nickel chrome alloy which used in making heating coils. And also the other application, manufacture of cooking pans from aluminum or stainless steel because they have higher melting point. Property number 3 or characteristic number 3 used to differentiate between substance, which is hardness. Some substances hard at room temperature and some are soft. So solid substance at room temperature may be soft like rubber, may be hard like metals, okay, and coal or sulfur. But some hard substance need heat to become soft like metals, and some hard substance don't melt by heating like coal and sulfur. Again, so solid substance at room temperature may be soft or hard. Soft like rubber, and hard which need heat to become soft like metals, or don't melt by heating like coal and sulfur. Property number 4, which is thermal conductivity. Substances are classified into thermal conductors, which allow heat to flow through them, like iron, copper, and aluminum. All metals are thermal conductors. And thermal insulators, which don't allow heat to flow through them, like wood and plastic. So, substances according to thermal conductivity are divided into thermal conductors and thermal insulators. We have some application of thermal conductivity, like cooking pans are made of aluminum because aluminum is good conductor of heat and it has high melting point, so it doesn't melt at high temperature. Handles of cooking pans are made of wood or plastic because wood and plastic are bad conductors of heat, or they don't allow heat to flow through it. From these pictures, we observe that copper wire is electric conductor as a lamp light, but piece of sulfur is electric insulator because the lamp of acidic solution is electric. So electric wires are made of copper or aluminum because they are good conductors of electricity. Screwdrivers are made of steel, while their handles are made of wood or plastic because steel is a good conductor of electricity, but wood and plastic are bad conductor of. Also, metals are classified according to their chemical activity, with atmospheric air into very active metal, less active, and inactive. Very active metal which react with atmospheric oxygen in the air, like sodium and potassium. Less active, which are react with atmospheric air or atmospheric oxygen after a long time, several days, so they rust after a long time. Inactive don't react with oxygen due to their weak chemical activity, so they are used to make jewelry like silver, gold, and platinum. So we have very active metal like sodium and potassium, less active like iron, aluminum, and copper, which get rust after a long time. Inactive like silver, gold, and platinum. So they are used to make jewelry because they don't react with